United States are supporting Israel right now, by supplying weapons in particular, and politically too. I understand your question whether US will be involved militarily. I hope not. I hope not. And President Trump was speaking about that. He conditioned his non-involvement on non-attacks by Iran on the US military facilities. I hope that will stay that way. We have enough confrontation already. There should have been another round of talks on the 15th of June, as you know, but it was preceded by this attack by Israel on Iranians' nuclear sites. And then the outburst and the escalation of the hostilities, which risk to turn to an all-out war. Iranians are not now, I understand them, in a position to negotiate anything while these events are happening. But President Trump said today that he would encourage, or rather instruct, Vice President Vance and then his envoy Steve Witkoff to try to contact Iranians for, in an attempt to continue this process. The offer was indeed made both by President Putin and by President Erdogan. But I don't see any appetite for mediation on the part of Israel, at least at this time, not in 24 or in 48 hours. But these hostilities, this thing should be stopped because it has absolutely unpredictable consequences. Well, I think Iran would be prepared for talks to continue what these attacks by Israel stopped in the context of its nuclear program, but the condition is the Israel stops the attacks. First,
Ambassador, on the Israeli-Iran conflict going on now, Russia, of course, has good relations with Iran and reasonable relations now with the United States.
We have good relations with Israel too.
It was a random crowd. How concerned are you that not only this could escalate into a wider war, but into a nuclear war?
Well, look, the pretext for the strikes is alleged Iranians' military nuclear program, which nobody was able to confirm, including the IAEA. There are outstanding issues between Iran and IAEA, but first they are minor, and the IAEA cannot testify that Iran is developing, say, a nuclear bomb. But there are outstanding issues that were subject of inspections of talks between Iran and IAEA, and that one day or the other should have been resolved, but it suddenly stopped with these attacks. Of course, there is a danger of at least nuclear leakage. The President of the United States because Israelis are bombing the nuclear facilities. Natanz was bombed. Fordow is under threat. Nuclear power plant that we help, what we are basically building for the Iranians in Bushehr. So the risk of at least to nuclear how do you call it, fallout, radiation, yeah, is there. What regards nuclear war? God forbid, of course. Iran doesn't have a bomb. It claims so. It said it is against the laws that they established themselves. But the level of conventional exchange is so high that, of course, it risks a wider confrontation, and that it can flagrate the whole Middle East. And that is a real risk. And that is a risk not just for the region, because it's already a geopolitical thing.